Hey, what's up, guys? This is Akshay from AS Learning, and today we will be seeing IPL data analysis with Python. So, for doing IPL analysis, first we need data, right? And we will be using the data set of IPL available on Kaggle. So, the source of this data set is from cricksheet.org, and these guys have made this data available for everyone. So I'll share the link of this dataset in the video description. And out of this dataset, we actually have lots of files here. We have delivery.csv, matches.csv, teams.csv, team-wise home and away performance. So according to different files, we can come up with lots of insights. But for explanation purpose, I have picked two files from here, that is deliveries.csv and matches.csv. So let's first see what our data looks. So try to understand, guys, whenever you want to do any data analysis, play with data. Just see what the data is, go through every columns, try to understand the data, take the grasp of the data, because if you don't know what the data actually is, there's no point in doing the analysis. You need to have some kind of domain expertise regarding what the data is actually speaking, right? So in our task, we have taken two CSVs. The first is matches.csv and the another one is deliveries.csv. So let me check if I've uploaded this. Yeah, it's there. So on whatever data which is available in this two CSV, we will be seeing how to come up with lots of beautiful visualizations and many of the insights. Okay. So I'll give you a glimpse of the graphs which we will be seeing. Yeah, see, so this is one of the graph. This is another one. This is another one. And finally these ones. We have one more here. Wait a second. What is that? Yeah, even this one. This one is my best one. This one is my favorite one. Yeah. So let's first try to understand what the data actually speaks. So in matches.csv, we have the data of all the matches. We have the IDs, we have season, we have city, we have date. Team 1, team 2, toss winner, toss decision, whether it was field or bat by the toss winner. What was the result? Whether it was a Duckworth Lewis applied or not, or was it a normal one? What was who was the winner of the match, by how many runs he won, or by how many wickets they won? Who was the player of the match, the venue, and the umpires? So this is the data we have. So this data is on matches level. So we have matches, we have the venues, we have team 1, team 2 toss winners, we have the results, we have the winners, by how many runs they won, venues, and the umpire. Okay. The another data which we have is on delivery level, so on much more granularity. So here we have per match, per inning, on what ball, which batsman was there, who was the non-striker, and how many runs were scored. So we have this data in a much more granular level on per ball basis. Okay. So let's see what kind of insights we can come up from these two CSVs. So in traditional machine learning way, what the approach was, we first used to clean the data. After cleaning the data, we used to remove, like in cleaning, we have activities like removing the null values, the duplicates, and all. After that, what we do is we go for EDA, exploratory data analysis. and we go column by column, seeing our result variable and all. So that is the typical traditional way. But in recent times, we have some customized libraries. We have some beautiful libraries in place like Pandas profiling, AutoViz, SwitViz. So what it does is you just need to pass the CSV to these libraries, and just by passing the CSVs, you will have entire data analysis within seconds. So let's see how it works out. So before going towards the graph and making this beautiful visualization, first we'll be seeing some pure EDA stuff and how SwitViz can give me such beautiful results. Okay, so here I am into my Google Colab. Okay, here I've just imported the required files like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Then I've used percentage Matplotlib inline for displaying me the graphs behind this cell. So this is a magical function used for showing the graphs just below this cell. Okay, so these things are called cell. Okay, after that I've changed my current directory to sample data because my files are present here. Yeah, so here you can see I have deliveries.csv and matches.csv. After that I've simply loaded them and converted this CSVs into data frame. Okay. Yeah, so what is a data frame? A data frame is nothing but a collection of rows and columns. So just imagine it in the form of an Excel file. Okay, so we'll do a simple head and we'll be seeing the data, but we already saw it here also. Okay, so no need for that. After that, what I'll be doing is I'll be importing SwitViz. So here I've imported SwitViz. I've used the analyze function and passed my data frame. So I've passed a match.df and also del.df. Okay, and after that I've generated my HTML report for it. So I've already done this and I'll show you how the report appears. Okay, so this is, yeah, so here you can see it's a beautiful report. Yeah, so this report is of on match level. Okay, so here we have IDs, we have season, we have city, date, team 1, team 2, toss winners, and vagera vagera. Okay, so let's try to make sense what we can analyze from this report. Okay, so we have the values. Okay, we can see do we have missing values or not, how many distinct values we have, then what is the maximum, the quartile values, then what's the range, IQR, standard deviation, variance. We can see the distribution of those values also. So here in a simple summary, we have number of rows, duplicates, the RAM used for processing the data, number of features, out of which how many are categorical, how many are numerical, and how many are text. Okay, so in season we have values from 2008 to 2018. So we have this data from all the IPL matches from 2008 to 2018. Okay, in city you can see the maximum number of times the venue or the matches have been held in Mumbai. Okay, I'll just make it a bit, yeah, so here you can see, yeah, so when I hover on this, you can see that maximum number of times the venue has been Mumbai. Okay, yeah, then the next thing is the date. Date is of not much importance. Team won't be of much importance. It should have an equal distribution. Let's say toss winners. Okay, so in IPL from 2008 to 2018, Mumbai Indians has won the toss maximum number of times. Okay, and if we see the results, yes, maximum number of times it has been a normal results. We do see a lot of ties these days, but nowadays we use super over. We don't go for Duckworth Lewis. We only go for Duckworth Lewis if there is any rain or stuff. let's see the winners. We should see Mumbai Indians and CSK on top, because we know that Mumbai Indians and CSK have dominated IPL and they have won the championships a allotment number of times, and the data speaks for itself. Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings are at the top. Okay, win by runs, win by wickets. Then we have the umpires also. Let's see which umpire has the maximum number of which umpire has been a part of IPL matches the maximum number of times. And here in umpire 1 we have Dharmasena, the umpire of Sri Lanka. Okay, we can't just come up with these values because we have the same values in umpire 1, umpire 2 also, and umpire 3 also. So we need to sum up and check this thing. But from the data we can see here that Dharmasena has come as umpire 1 allotment number of times. And umpire 3, that is the third umpire, we have Nitin Menon. I think he's an Indian umpire. Okay. So there's one more thing here, and that is called as association. Now what association does is it simplifies our task of seeing how the variables are interdependent on each other. Okay, so for category we have categorical association, and for numeric thing we have correlations. So here if the values, okay, I'll show it in this way. Yeah, if the values are more violet, it means that they are positively correlated. If the values are negative, it shows that they are negatively correlated. Okay, so let's just try to understand whether this data makes sense or not. Okay, so we have toss winners here, and let's see if toss winners and the actual winner, do they go hand in hand. So we can see here toss winners and winners are somewhat around, kind of not much, but yeah, it is making sense. So in IPL, so we can make a sense that okay, if someone loses a toss, that doesn't mean that he's gonna lose. Okay, then if we see venue, so venue has a very high correlation with city. It makes sense, right? Because city and venue will be highly correlated, because if there's one stadium, it should be in that city itself. Then we have negation for win by runs and win by wickets. Okay, in umpires we have a strong correlation here, and it makes sense because these umpires are kind of interrelatedly umpire 1 and umpire 2. So the values are there in that form that we can see an association there also. Okay, so can we make a judgment that okay, the toss, if you win a toss, that doesn't mean that you will be winning the match. So we can have that thing very clearly spoken from this value, because the range is around 0.5 or something. If it was 1, it was making sense, but this is a 0.5. So it shows that yes, there's some amount of chance that the toss winners do win matches, but not every time. Okay, so let's do one thing. This was of matches.csv. We'll do the same for deliveries.csv. What is telling me? This ways I've not defined here. Oh, I might have to install circuits first. Let's let me check. I've already taken out the report for Adele.df, so this should be handy enough. Yeah, so here we have the data analysis per ball, per delivery. Okay, so I won't go into what these things are, but it makes sense, like batting team, overs, batsman, non-strikers is super over, Byron and all. We'll just see the associations here. Yeah, so here we can see that total runs and batsman runs are strongly correlated. Yes, it makes sense because whenever we calculate total runs in maximum number of times, we won't have a no ball run, penalty run, extra runs there. So in most of the cases, whatever the batsman scores will be your total run. Yes, this makes sense. This is also one and the same thing. Then extra runs and wide runs. Yes, and see your extra runs is very strongly correlated with wide runs, bye runs, and leg bye runs. It makes sense, right? Because whenever there would be an extra run, so individually it would be a wide run. There cannot be something like, this is a wide ball also, and a bye ball also, and a no ball also. No, if it is a no ball, it's a no ball, and it will go into extra run. It makes sense that these values are strongly correlated. Okay. So this was our basic kind of analysis on data. Now let's go into the data visualization. So there's one more video in which I've explained SwitWiz in much more detail, and if you want to check how SwitWiz works and what are the different functions of SwitWiz, do check this video in the description. Okay. So let's get started with our visualizations now. So here I've imported NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib and Seaborn. So Matplotlib is used for normal visualization and Seaborn can be used for modern visualization, somewhat advanced. Matplotlib inline is a magical function used for displaying the graphs besides the cell. Okay, I have set style as dark grid. So this graph which you are seeing, this background which you are seeing, this background is of dark grid. Okay, and I've also set the parameters for my figures as 14:8. So this is my width into height. Okay, I've changed my present working directory. Yeah, it will give me an error because we are already into it. I've loaded my DFs and we'll just check the shape. And yes, now we'll be starting with this graph. Now see here, what I want to show. I want to show that in which stadium the matches has occurred the maximum number of times. Okay, so see here what I've done. I have imported a Seaborn, Matplotlib and warnings. So warnings I've imported for filtering out the warnings which the notebooks suggest me. So whenever there is any library or any package which will get deprecated or which has any compatibility issues, so it gives me a warning that after few period of time this package is going to get deprecated. Okay, so if you want to corrupt those warnings and not see them, so you just need to import warnings and do a warning dot simple filter. Okay, I have set my style as dark grid and I have picked venue. And I've done a simple value counts and I've sorted it. I've sorted the values ascending false. So ascending false means the maximum number of values will be first. Okay, I've set my figure parameters and I've done a bar plot of it. Okay, because I've done a value count, that's why in my bar plot I need to pass index and values. Alpha shows me the color variation in the graph. Okay, this is my title, most played venues, my Y label, my X label. Now Y label and X label are nothing but these values. Count is Y label, X label is the name which I've given to graph. This is this. So this is my X label, name of the stadiums, and then my X ticks. So what is these set X ticks? Set X ticks is the values which I've given, which are there on my X axis. And as you can see, these values are rotated 90 degree. So I've set that parameter here and I've given those values from ls.index and I've kept tweaked my font size with this parameter. Now after that I've just simply done a plot.show. Okay, now this is a beautiful graph which we get, and it clearly shows that maximum number of matches from 2008 to 2018 have occurred in Eden Garden, and after that then the count is in Wankhede Stadium. Okay, so in Wankhede and Chinnaswamy the count is almost similar, so we can see that. Now let's go towards our next graph. So let's try to understand umpires. Which umpire has done umpiring for the maximum number of times in IPL from 2008 to 2018. So what I've done is I've concatenated umpire 1 and umpire 2 because those are used like umpire come as 1 and 2 interchangeably. I've done a simple value counts and I've done sort values. Okay, this is similar. I've just set my figure size. I've done a simple bar plot. I've kept my alpha 0.9. I've set my title as favorite umpire, the title of my graph, the Y label, that is the count, and my X label, that is the name of the umpire. And after that, I've just set my X6 label. I've rotated them 90 degree, and I've done a simple show. Now, in my report, we saw that Dharmasena was the umpire who was showing many number of graphs here, like the count was high for Dharmasena. Okay, now let's see if this observation is backed in the graph. Yes, now here you can see that Dharmasena is coming second, and we have our S Ravi as first, but Dharmasena is second. Okay, so this graph is making sense. After that, what we'll do is we'll be doing stadium wise analysis, and we'll be seeing in stadium whether batting first is an advantage or batting second. Okay, now this I've done for Firozshah Kotla, and I've done it one more for Achidambaram Stadium of Chepak. Okay, so let's see how I've done it. So this kind of data visualization is called as pie chart. Okay, so here I've picked my venues. I've applied the filter on the data frame. I've picked my venue as Firozshah Kotla. After that, what I've done is the team which has won batting first would have won by runs, right? So wherever the value of win by runs is greater than 0, that team would have won batting first. It makes sense, right? Because see here, now winner has been Sunrisers Hyderabad, win by runs, so this team should have batted first. Now see here, team 1 was Sunrisers Hyderabad, so this team has batted first. Now see here, toss winner was Royal Challengers, but they picked to field first. Right, now because Sunrisers Hyderabad batted first, that's why it was a win by runs. So wherever the value of win by runs would be greater than 0, it makes sense that the team would have batted first. So applying that condition, I've picked the team which is batting first. After that, I need to pass the values to my pie chart, right? The slices in which the values would be there. Now what I've done is I've picked the length of the teams which have win by runs, and I've subtracted it from the overall value. So the other value would be the teams which have won bowling first. Okay, and I've assigned those values to the slices of my pie chart. Okay, and then after that I've just simply called plt.py. Now here the starting angle is 90. Now what is the starting angle? I'll show you. First, let me do a plt.show. Now see here. Now if I change this angle to, let's say, 0, this 180 degree will, see the change here, how it appears. Yes, now starting angle is 0. It starts from here. This is my starting angle. If I've kept it 20, it would be an inclined angle of 20. Yes, see here. Now what is this explode? Explode is the distance between these two charts. Shadow is the shadow which you are seeing here, which is giving this graph a 3D effect. colors are the hex values which I've passed here, and auto percent is this percentage value which is inside this graph. Okay, and these are the labels, batting first and batting second. Now similarly, with the same logic, we can do it for any stadium. Now in Firozshah Kotla, we made sense that okay, it doesn't matter whether you bat first or you ball first, but in another stadium like PM Chidambaram Stadium, we can see that batting first has an advantage, right? Yeah. Now we will move towards our next visualization, in which we would be visualizing the batsmen. So up till now we have seen umpires, we have seen stadiums, we have seen the venues and stadiums, and now we'll move towards umpires. Okay. Now in umpires, what we need to do is, we'll move towards batsmen. In batsmen, what we'll be doing is we'll be seeing the top scoring batsmen and how many scores they have done. Now this graph shows that what has been the graph for a batsman. Now this violet graph is for Virendra Sehwag. Now Virendra Sehwag, we can see that in 2010 he was very nice. He performed really well. These were the number of runs he scored. But after 2002 he kind of hardly batted, and in 14 and 16 he wasn't even there, right? This graph, the orange graph which we are seeing up, is of Gautam Gambhir, and yes, we know that in 2014 and 16 IPL he was the captain of KKR and he did really nice. Now let's see how we can draw this graph. Okay, now this is a simple line chart, I'll say, and what we need to do is we need to come up with proper grouping of our data to have this graph. Now we have our x-axis as seasons, and we need the number of score made by the batsman, right? Now what we'll be doing is we'll be first performing our group on season, batting team, batsman. Now why this grouping? I'll show you the data here. Now see here, the data which I have here of batsman is on per ball level, per over, per ball. So we need to aggregate this. We need to aggregate this data. And once we aggregate this, after that we can perform our visualization. Now see here on this del.df, I've performed my first group by on match ID, innings, batting team and batsmen. Okay, and after that group by, I have applied an aggregate function of sum. This aggregate function of sum on batsman's run. Okay, now why on that? Now see here, the first group by I applied it on match ID, innings, batting team and batsman. Now see here, match ID, batting team, batsman, and I want a batsman run also. Now here we have the batsman run. Okay, so this is the first group by which I've applied. Okay, on match ID, innings, batting team and batsman. Okay, now after that, after applying the group by, I'll be doing the sum of the batsman runs I have. So ignore this comment here. Okay, so after that I'll be doing the sum of the batsman runs. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to have season into my graph, but in this deliveries.df I don't have season here, right? Now for that I'll be doing a join. I'll be picking season from match.df. I'll be doing a join here, and it would be taking ID. I think it will be taking, it will take ID from a matches, a match ID from deliveries. Okay, so it has taken ID and season from match.df. Okay, and I have performed a join, and it is a left join here. Now what is the advantage? Now here you can see that I have seasons associated with the batsman runs I have. Okay. Now after that, I need to have this data aggregated for all the matches, right? I want one single value for one batsman per season. That is why I'll be doing one more group by. I'll be doing one more group by on season, batting team, batsman. Right. Batting team, batsman. And after that, I'll be taking the sum of it. Okay. Now I want to eliminate the batting team here. Because I want to eliminate the batting team, I'll be taking one more group by on season, batsman. I'll unstack it and take the transpose of it. And finally, I'm creating a new column of total here and doing the sum of the values in this data frame. Once I've taken the total, I'm just sorting the values on the value of total for each batsman, and after that I'm just doing a simple plot. Because I wanted to have a horizontal line graph, that's why I took the transpose here. Now in transpose, we will be having seasons as columns and batsmen's as in the indexes as rows, and for each batsman we'll be having a total score. And after that, we have just taken the top 7 batsmen and just simply plotted them. Okay. Now let's see. Yeah, so let's see a last graph. Okay, and here we'll be seeing how toss has impacted the win and loss of a team. Okay, so for understanding how toss has impacted the win and loss of a team per season, we'll be taking a group by on season, toss winners. Okay, I've taken the group by of season and toss winners, and from that I have picked the winners and taking the value counts of it. Okay, after that I've created a new column of result, and whenever the toss winner is the actual winner, I've given the value as 1, and when it is the toss winner is not the actual winner, I've given the value as lost. And after that I've taken another group by on season, toss winners and the result. I've taken the count of it and the sum of it. Now for plotting it, I am plotting it per season, for every season. Now this graph is for 2008. Per season. Okay, and per season I have just passed the season value into the data frame, and I've plotted the bar chart of it. Here my X value is the toss winners and Y value is the count, and data is my toss.result._x, which is coming from here. I set my titles and my X tick labels, and I've plotted the chart. So here there's one mistake which I can observe. Here you can see that the values are repeating. Chennai Super King has come 2 times. So this is a small mistake which has been done in this graph. Here before passing it in the labels, it should have been passed as a set. So we would be having individual team values for each of the 8 teams we have here. So that's it guys with this video. A big shout out to our Crick Sheet for his amazing data sets, and some of the Kaggle notebooks which I've referred for coming up with this IPL data analysis. So thank you to everyone, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, spread it with your friends, and spread some love. And do subscribe to my channel AS Learning for more such amazing tech stuff. Thank you. Take care.